Welcome to AP Physics C, Electricity and Magnetism, Unit 1, which is electrostatics. Here in this video, we're going to look at just simply electric charge. So one thing to note is that charge is one of the most fundamental properties of subatomic particles, right? So every subatomic particle, or let me put it this way, the proton and the electron, right, they all have charge, right? Proton being a positive charge, electron being a negative charge. And they both have the same amount of charge. And that happens to be what we call the elementary charge. Okay, again, two types of charge, positive and negative. The amount of charge on an object is measured in coulombs, or what we call the elementary charge. So this is the SI unit for charge. But sometimes what you'll get is that it'll come in and it'll say like so many E, okay, or it may say, hey, the number of electrons in a particle is this. What's the negative charge? Okay, and the law of electrostatics says opposites attract, likes repel. And you can see that in this table right here, where it's talking about what would a positive charge do if, you know, it'll be attracted to a neutral charge, repelled by a negative charge. A negative charge would be attracted to a positive charge and a neutral charge, and then repelling a negative charge. And then the neutral object will attract both and will repel neither one of them. And charge is conserved. So here I've got a total of -8 going into this collision, right? And then coming out also has to be -8 as well. So it's like they combine, 4 go to 1, and then they, you know, you got -4 and -4 coming out. Charge is also what we call quantized, right? And what quantized really means is that it's a whole number of particles. Right? You're never going to get like 2.5 electrons. It's always going to be 2 electrons or 3 electrons, 2 protons, 2 neutrons, or excuse me, there are 3 protons. Okay. And if you get a question like that, to figure out how much charge, right? So we call charge Q. Okay. And it's just simply going to be the number of charges times E, right? Or the number of particles times E. All right. So let's look at a quick example. All right, so here it talks about find the amount of positive electric charge in 1 mole of helium atoms. Hint: the nucleus of a helium atom consists of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. And then recall that there's, you know, the Avogadro number of particles or atoms in a mole of a substance. And so we're looking at 1 mole, right, of helium. And so we know that 1 mole of a substance is 6.022 times 10 to the 23 particles, right? And we also know that, so what we need to do is find out how many protons are in helium, or in 1 mole of helium, right? And so we know that 1 particle, or 1 atom, because this is how we unit of atoms, is 2 protons, okay? And so we multiply that all through, and we say that we tell you that there's 1.20 times 10 to the 24th protons. Right? Again, right, there's a lot of protons that are in 1 mole of helium, right? Because you got 6.022 times 10 to the 23 particles, okay, or atoms. Now we can find the number of charge. We're just going to do Q equals NE. And so the number of protons we're dealing with is 1.0 times 10 to the 24th. And we know that the elementary charge is 1.6 times 10 to the 19th coulombs, right? And so you see this is like coulombs per atom or particle. And so we get an answer of positive 1.9 times 10 to the 5th coulombs. And note that, right, the positives because we're looking at protons. Well, guess what? If we're looking at the number of electrons, right, how much charge is the number of electrons? Well, guess what? It's also going to be 1.9 times 10 to the 5th, but it's going to be negative, right? Because a proton has positive charge and an electron has negative charge, okay? In the next video, we're going to look at something called Coulomb's law, okay, which is we're talking about the force between charged particles.